In the United States alone, there is one divorce every 36 seconds. That's nearly 2,400 divorces per day, 17,000 divorces per week, and 876,000 divorces per year. Your marriage day is usually the happiest day of your life. Everyone believes that it will be like that every day thereafter. The sad truth is, nearly 45% of first-time marriages end in divorce. These are sad statistics, and we believe they can be changed one marriage at a time. In this podcast, my wife and I share what our over 33 years of marriage has taught us, how we dealt with the challenges that came our way, and in the end, how to love being married. Well, hello there, Shelley. Once again, we are here. We made it together again.
Yep.
Is that correct English? I don't know.
But we like being together.
We like being together. Yes, we do. So we got rid of the minivan.
We did.
I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, I never even drove it. I just rode in
Nothing
it
wrong with minivans because we've owned one. I just didn't like that minivan.
We just didn't like that one.
So we
not impressive.
We got the same truck again, the same one that was damaged. So every time we get in it, we still have some PTSD.
It's not the same truck, it's a new truck. Because ours was totaled, yeah.
Ours was completely demolished. Anyway, we're surviving after that.
Yep.
So insurance, that's always a fun thing to deal with. All the things we're learning that we had no idea.
It takes so much time.
I know, it's like a full-time job for you.
Yeah, I'm like,
And by the way, thank you for taking care of all that.
Well, you're welcome, but I don't know if it's all taken care of, but yeah.
And we were going somewhere the other day. I don't remember where, but we had the GPS going, and I had the thought, you and me are geography misfits.
I know.
Like we can't find our way. I'd say all the time, we can't find our way out of a paper bag.
Yeah, that's us. We just are directionally challenged.
I have a friend, and he can, from high school, and he married my sister, by the way, but he could find anywhere, and that was before the life of the GPS. He could go anywhere, and I'm like, how do you know where you're going?
Well, Kate is like that, our son-in-law.
He is.
Yeah.
I think he laughs at us because we're such geography misfits. It's like, I can kind of tell here because we have mountains, so you can go east, west.
The pretty mountains are east. Yeah.
What's that saying? Never eat soggy waffles, right? So
yeah.
we kind of have it figured out a little bit, that much. But
you go somewhere else and there's
no
mountains.
But when it's dark
what do you do?
Or it's foggy here and you can't tell where you're going, it's GPS time. I know I'm only a mile away from home, but I'm turning on that GPS to get me home.
Yeah,
I'm not quite that
lost.
bad, but we are. I remember the other night I said, where is such and such on the map?
Oh, yeah. And I said, I don't know.
And I said, I don't know either.
We didn't fail geography, but
we didn't excel at it, though.
Yeah.
But she was close to being the valedictorian, so I know she's very bright.
I was not close. I think I was
you were like
10 or 11.
Okay. I was like 10 or 1100. 10 or 1100th, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And another thing that happened this week is I was texting someone, and they texted me. They texted me asking about our truck, and I was responding back, and all of a sudden they said they're really busy, and I said, why are you busy? And they said, we're moving, and I got the wrong. Their last name is Walker, so I got the wrong Walker because there's 2 Walkers in our neighborhood, and they said moving, and I said, moving where?
They were packing, and you said, what are you
packing for? And it's like, did you get hurt in an accident or something? Because they told me they were moving, but I thought it was the other Walkers, and I thought, you're moving? What's going on?
I've been doing that too. There's so many people right now that I'm texting with all the same name. same first name.
Oh yeah, they all have the name of Mike.
Yeah, and
or
so
Brooke
I'm
or
like,
something,
yeah,
right?
I'm like sending the wrong text to the wrong person. I've done that a couple of times.
I
Yeah.
got it, and she's in real estate
Oops,
now, so
sorry.
she has to make sure what she
Disregard.
has isn't binding legally. Wrong Mike. I told you could have that for free, but no. And then, well, I texted one of my friends once, and I thought it was you. I don't know why I pulled it up, and I said I love you, and it was my good friend from work, Greg.
Oh,
so
well,
it's like
that's all right.
he got a good laugh of it, but
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't love him, but not that way.
Yeah.
And kind of our call to action this week. So I'm going to give a call to action early on in the podcast, but
okay.
I have a niece, and I read a post that she put on her Facebook, and
Okay.
I love this. I love what happened here.
I must have missed it, so tell me.
She says, the car in front of us paid for our food in the drive-thru
yes.
tonight, and her son asked, why do you think they did that? And she started answering, and she said, he cut me off, and he said, maybe he really cares about Jesus. I thought that was
so cute.
I thought that was really, really sweet.
Sweet
so
boy.
That's the call to action, is really think about Jesus this week and do something nice for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Hope it's your spouse too. You can do something nice for somebody else, but think of your spouse. What can you do for your spouse this week? And do something nice.
This is a different subject, but I have to say, hopefully this is a little lighter note. But so our little dog Cooper, he had his 4th birthday on Saturday. He turned 4 and he got a little ball and he got a bone that he didn't like, but he loves his ball.
We spent like $4 on him.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Cooper.
Happy birthday, Cooper. And then he has needed a haircut so bad. And the other day, what did you tell me?
I just said he looks like a homeless dog. He was looking so mangy.
I know.
And I kind of like his hair a little longer, but it was looking really bad.
I like it short. But
really
he got
bad.
his haircut today, and he was so stinking cute.
But he didn't care the way he looked.
Has a cute little
You
Halloween
probably hear him running around from time to time in our
on
podcast.
him.
But he's...
he's a cutie.
I don't like the bib on him, but you do.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
He's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
And you're cute.
You're cute. You're beautiful. We have a very special guest for our podcast today, and we've known them for a really long time.
They're our good friends.
Good friends, Pat and Stan Sorensen, or should I say Stan and Pat Sorensen, but we're going to be joining Pat today.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had some really big trials, not just little things. They've lost 2 of their children.
Mm-hmm.
Stan was in a very severe accident here recently, almost died, could have died.
She said he came within 1 inch of dying.
And he's got to do a lot of rehab, physical therapy even now.
Surgeries.
And some surgeries. It's not over, but a lot, they've been through a lot.
They have.
And when you listen to her, I just love how positive she is.
I do
She's
too.
just very positive.
She's an inspiration.
She really is. So what a treat.
They are
to
an
have
inspiration.
Her. Yeah, we love them. So today we are talking with Pat Sorensen, a lifetime friend. I think we met you, Pat, in...
Well, Paul, remember when we were moving to our neighborhood?
Yeah, about 23 years ago.
And I don't know if you remember this, Pat, but we stopped by your house down on Wood Ranch Drive and said, what do you think about this neighborhood? Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Isn't that fun? I do remember.
Is this a safe neighborhood to move into? And you had raving reviews, I remember. So
well, we're here, so
we're here still after going on our 23rd year.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood, but you guys moved away. Maybe we chased
3
you
miles.
away. Maybe we chased
Only
you.
in Utah can you. Only in Utah can you move 3 miles and your life changes forever.
Exactly. But you still remain our friends after all these years, so we appreciate
Always.
that.
Yep.
So Pat is and her husband have been married almost 42 years. You said 41 years and 9/8 or something.
Well, 9/8 is more than one, sweetie.
8 ninths.
8 9.
42 years next
Okay, she's
month.
the mathematician. So almost 42 years, which is really impressive because we just hit our
33rd
year in June.
But the real treat is I'm still crazy about him after all that time.
And that's awesome. I
Yay.
feel that way about my wife. And that's one of the reasons we wanted you on is how do you stay wildly, madly in love with your husband after all these years? Because a lot of people, it doesn't last more than a year or two, and then they can't stand each other.
And isn't that a terribly sad thought? You know, when we got married, we made a decision very conscientiously to be a we. And every interest we've got involved in, we've discussed it. We've made sure the other was willing to be part of it. I mean, there's been compromise on both parts, from professional sports to light opera, which is kind of a crazy span. But it opened up both of our horizons than just one I'll give and one I'll take.
And you wrote that on the marriage, How to Love Being Married Facebook page. It's we, not me. And I love that. I told Shelley, I love that.
That's why we're talking to you.
Because it's usually me. I did this. I did that. I'm going to go do this.
Well,
I'm going to go do that.
Or you take off and go with the guys or the wife. And I'm not knocking girl and guy get-togethers. But, we're talking recreation, family activities, common interest. We just made a real conscientious choice. I wasn't a big sports fan, but I learned to sit through pro sports and stuff because he liked it. And, and he got kind of turned on to light opera. So it's win-win for both of us.
Nice.
That's a real, now I know why you guys have been married so long, because he sacrifices to listen to that.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah, you're both
and
great.
Always looking for the best in each other instead of the worst. Every time, we can find faults in everything, but there's so much good if you just sometimes even look beneath the surface. And I think sometimes we're so busy fault finding that we lose track of what we're looking for.
I agree.
So it's no good to be picked apart.
And I know Shelley and I, we look for opportunities to do things for one another. I want to serve her, and it just reciprocates. It's just,
makes you happy.
Yeah.
If somebody's being a jerk to you all the time, then it's hard to be nice. So if you're always just being kind to one another, it's amazing how much joy you bring to one another.
Yep.
For sure. And one big thing I've learned too is to not hold a grudge, because marriage is going to cause probably some difference of opinions because we all grew up differently. And I thought I've never been a grudge holder, so that's not ever been an issue. But it could be if we didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anytime we've ever had heated words, it's generally always been over children.
Yeah.
And their choices and things like that. So other than that, gosh, I just love him. I like hanging out with him. He's
well,
a
you
fun
call
guy.
him your Prince Charming, don't you?
Oh, all the time. And
Shelley loved that. She said, I love that statement.
So cute.
So I'm trying to be her Prince Charming. I'm working on it.
And, working on it is a victory in itself. And that's huge. But, do we look for the prince or princess in each of us, or are we so caught up, expecting an unreality?
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about that before. Yeah. The happily ever after, you see the movies and it's happily ever after, but they don't really show what happily ever after. And that's when your marriage begins. It's not your marriage, you get married and all of a sudden it's perfect. It's you get married and then life begins and you can make it wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel extremely blessed with Stan just because he's quite a romantic. And that sounds kind of silly, and guys can say, well, I'm not a romantic. Learn to be. Girls are really into that. I like a note. And early on in our marriage, there's a couple times I put a post-it note in the bathroom that just says, it's been a while since I got a love note. Miraculously, one would show up on the mirror the next day.
Cute.
And
way to go, Stan.
And it sounds dumb. It was a hard lesson for anyone married to realize that you guys can't read our minds. So if
Yeah.
we want something, we're going to have to inform them.
Mm.
And I think pride has no place in marriage.
And I
You know,
like that because we're not mind readers, and people think, well,
I
why
know.
doesn't he or she why doesn't she do this, or why doesn't he do
He should know
that?
what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they don't. They're not mind readers, and nobody's perfect. So sometimes a little re-education is not amiss. And I have no pride of saying what I really like. And sometimes a little reminder, like, it's been a while since you asked me out on a date. Miraculously, there's a text or a message that plans a date. And,
Cute.
sometimes we get busy and forget that we can't read each other's minds.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something, go educate them.
Tell us. Us
Always,
guys are a little bit on the dumb side at times. Let us know what you need.
well, yeah, let us know what you need, and vice versa, because I can't read his mind either. And if there's
Mhm.
something I'm doing that's not making him happy, I want to know about it.
Mhm.
And it's hard to correct your spouse. It's really hard to correct a spouse. But if it's done with love, if you don't overreact, you can think about it, and there's always truth in what the correction is about. Sometimes you bite your tongue and think about it, and I'm so glad he
And
has the
we've
guts
talked
to
about
correct
that,
him.
a correct way to do that, because if you're very antagonistic towards your spouse, it doesn't work very
Yeah,
well. But if you say, you know, Shelley, that really made me feel bad the other day when you said whatever it is, or
Mhm.
yeah.
you
That
say it
hurt
in a
my
nice
feelings.
way, but if you say, "Why are you talking?" and you yell at them and
Yeah,
scream at them, it does
doesn't accomplish
it
anything.
doesn't accomplish anything, and by the end of the day, you're sleeping in different rooms.
Not good.
We've never
One
done that, by the
counsel,
way.
one counsel we received when we got married was to never go to bed angry.
I
Mhm.
love that.
And what great counsel that is if you have to stay up all night talking about it, then so be it.
Mhm.
We've had a few late night chats.
We have too. And if
And
you haven't, you should.
yeah, for sure. And to me, silent treatment is a lose-lose for everybody.
Mhm.
Well, he should know what I'm thinking. Well, no, he doesn't.
We
Mhm.
Not just
determined
because
early
he's
on in
adult.
our marriage, no silent treatment. That was something that we weren't going to do.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe people need to set ground rules before they get married
Well,
of
my
what they
parents never did
anticipate.
that. Her parents did.
yeah, I grew up
And
with
They,
that.
they the silent treatment.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I remember when she did it once, they said, "No, Shelley, we aren't going to do that. The silent treatment is nothing we're going to do in our marriage." And we determined
Isn't
early
that
on that wasn't something we were going to participate in.
Not productive.
makes a difference, huh?
Mhm.
Sometimes when you're upset, maybe you don't communicate quite as well as you should, and it takes a minute.
Bite your tongue.
You
Yeah.
you
There's
watch
some
your
words you can't
words.
take back.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Some things you can't take back, and whew, and who wants to live with that?
Yeah.
It's hard to take
Yeah,
words
for
back.
sure.
Don't say them if you don't mean them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you say something in the heat of the moment that I didn't mean that, but the damage is done.
Yep.
Mhm.
I can honestly say there's not been too many times when we've been down that road.
That's
And
awesome.
part of that's a life learning curve.
You learn from those
Life is a
bad
bitch.
experiences and go, I'm not going to
Yeah,
do that again.
and
Mhm.
That
that's the
didn't turn
key
out well.
to learn. Ooh, wish I could back that train up. And
Well,
I think too many times, don't live with regret. Not worth it.
no,
Plus, say what's in your mind. Don't mince it. You can say it kindly and, I'm not saying in your face per se, but say it in a way that can be understood, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
it makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I can tell why you guys are married as long as you are. We try to put the same things in place in our marriage, and it's
Helpful.
very productive that way.
It is
Well,
very productive. And, I think friendship is a huge important part of marriage. If you can't be together for fun, it's bigger than just the bedroom.
Mhm.
And
absolutely.
when I had my bad car wreck 30 years ago, I thought if Stan would have ever left me, it would have been during that time. Because, I was on drugs, I was a mess. man, he stood by my side, and because I repeated myself so much because I would forget what I was saying because I had some head injuries.
Mhm.
And I look back on that, and I'm just so glad that when the going gets tough, I don't throw in the towel. And it's sad that some people do that. That they're not in it for the long haul.
And when you marry somebody, you, like you say, I mean, we were in an accident a few weeks back, and we talked about that on our podcast. We were in a car accident, and um, she had a concussion, and she worried me. I was really worried. I thought, what if I lose her? It scared me. And
Exactly.
we didn't know the extent of the injuries, and we're both okay. We were a little banged up and hurt still, but we're good. We're good. But
Frightening, huh?
I actually love her more after that incident because it brought us
Isn't that
even closer
something?
together.
Mhm.
I love that. Love it. Love it. I
And
feel the same exact way since Stan's accident. You know, when you come close to losing someone that you love, oh my gosh. I was talking to a friend who came over after Stan got out of the hospital, and she said, but for the grace of God, we could be planning a funeral.
mm,
Well, that's kind
Do
of
you
a
mind
reality
sharing a
check.
little bit? You told us about it, but I think it'd be
Yeah,
nice for people to know a little bit about that
little
because it
background.
was
huge.
a big thing.
Yeah.
It was a big, big, big thing. And kind of the tender mercy about it is he's taking care of me through a lot of things. And this was almost my chance, and I've never begrudged taking care of him. It's a privilege, and I think of the billions of times he's taken care of me, when you have babies or car wrecks and stuff,
Mhm.
it's been really neat to have the chance to take care of him. But back in June, he had some steel components slide off a flatbed and hit him, and it slid from his face to his knee, and the impact knocked his ankle through his foot.
Ugh.
It just shattered his foot to pieces. So I've gotten lots of nursing experience, and you know what? It's a labor of love. I don't complain. I don't mind because he's worth it. And
Aw.
it's kind of a chance. It's just a tender mercy to be able to give back the hundreds of times he's just taken care of me. So, you know what? Ugh, I'm just crazy about him. He's the
That's
Aw.
best.
awesome.
So
You guys
sweet.
are, you guys, as Shelley says, cute.
Well, it's fun to be cute at 65. Oh,
No,
well, you know
that's
what?
really neat.
We have to look through each other. Just through those eyes of what we saw in the beginning that grabbed our heart in the first place, and just build on it. And instead of expecting to turn someone into someone we want them to be. And you know what? Warts and all, I'll take him.
Well,
And,
and
and
you know, and I
I've also,
know,
yeah, yeah,
you see TV and they paint a
yeah,
picture of perfection. They're
yeah.
perfect
And there's
looking. They don't make a mistake. Well, they do. Sometimes they'll show those mistakes, but they try to think that this is
False reality.
a false reality. That's a good term
yeah,
for it.
yeah, deception.
Mhm.
And
And
we're all human beings.
and
We're
we're
all
all
human
real.
beings. Yep. We snore. At least I do. And
I do
Yeah.
sometimes too.
Sam had a time when he was really busy with the calling and with work, and I had little kids and was kind of stressed out. And I had this big epiphany as I was driving down the road that he's not perfect, but he's perfect for me.
Aw.
And that's enough right there. He's not perfect, but he is perfect for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yep.
take that.
Yep.
And if everyone could feel that way, wouldn't that
Life
be
would be
great?
different.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. And I love what you guys are doing, because marriage can be a wonderful experience. It doesn't have to be a nightmare and a fight. It can be probably the greatest source of joy and that.
And that's the thing that makes me sad is when I see people not enjoying marriage, when I think you could love it as much as we love it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you both
Yep.
have to be on board. You both have to be working on this.
Yeah. And, if a wife wants it and the husband doesn't, then, whew, my heart goes out for the ones who aren't satisfied and looking elsewhere. Because sometimes in our own backyard, there's the greatest joy found.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Grass is always greener on the other side, isn't it? Not true.
I knew somebody that's on their third marriage, and he told me that
He said exactly that. He
he
said the
said it's
grass
not always
isn't.
greener on the other side. There's still problems, you think the second one's going to be better and the third one's going to be better, and all of a sudden you realize
It's
you
them.
still have to work on this. It still has to
You
be
do.
worked on.
Yeah.
It does. And anything worth fighting for is worth keeping forever.
Yeah.
I've always joked and made myself highly visible in Stan's work arena. He's mine. I'll fight for him no matter what. Don't get in my way, baby. and I think with a marriage, that wives need to be visible in that other part of their world that is so big.
Mm-hmm.
When you think the work world. Plus, I had a very wise friend tell me at an early age, when our husbands go to work, they're going to probably be around people that are professionals, and put together for work. So does he want to come home and look at a hag? Her words, not mine. But it kind of made, it was cute, but it made sense. And so I've always tried to not look like a train wreck when he walks in the door.
You're very cute.
We do the best we can with what we work with. Huh?
Shelley always looks fantastic. I'm sorry I'm the hag here, Shelley.
I have no makeup on today.
That's okay. I think we need to see each other how we really are and just embrace it and love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I've seen Stan to see me my worst, and I've seen him as his worst. And if this is the worst, then I'll take it.
Aw.
You guys are awesome. I love it. So you guys have I can't think of too many people that have had losses like you, and you've told me about it over the years, so I'm familiar with your losses, and I'll let you share what you feel you're okay sharing, and how
I'm okay sharing it. Yeah, with 30 years ago when our 5-year-old daughter died of a rare disease. Oh my gosh, Stan was so compassionate because it was so unexpected and it all happened in like 2 days. So there was no time to even prepare or anything. It was just a freak, rare illness that got our little Chelsea. And I tell you, Stan has held my hand through thick and thin over that. And once again, the grieving differences is, knowing that we grieve different is just a different ballgame. 7 years ago when Casey committed suicide, oh my gosh, that was the worst we've ever been through. And yet, I would need to talk about him and he'd listen. He wouldn't need to talk about it, but would need to just have arms around him and hold him. And so just accepting going through it differently, but together was huge. And, holding hands through it and crying together through it. Oh, just being together. I couldn't have survived it without him. He was my rock. And I'm grateful for that. I think our faith plays a massive role in all of it. And I'm never going to underestimate the magnitude of covenants, keeping us strong through the really hard spots. The commitment that goes way beyond mortality. I don't know how people survive without an anchor. And I think our anchor is definitely the Savior.
And we feel the same. We belong to the same church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah. And I know that not everybody believes that, but I know many believe in God and Jesus Christ and have that belief that gets them through the trials.
It does. And right now, 2 of our children are not living like we would want them to live. But you know what? It's all going to work out. I think we just need to love them and keep doors open and not let it impact our personal happiness. That sounds dumb because so much of our joys are tied to our kids. But we kind of agreed after Casey died that we were responsible for our own happiness, and we choose to be happy no matter what our children do. Mm-hmm. And that's another big milestone in winning in the marriage game is I choose happiness, and so does Stan. So through it all, we can be sorrowful and sad, but at day's end, you know, we're in a good place. And that's, I, we choose to be happy.
And I love that
Happiness is a
you
choice.
too, and I can tell by things you post online that you love your kids no matter what. And I think
Right.
that's
Yeah.
a really good takeaway as a parent, and something that will keep your family together, is that
Yeah.
regardless
For
of how
sure.
you think your child should or shouldn't live their life, or the things they should or shouldn't do, you love
Mm-hmm.
your children unconditionally.
Yeah.
And I
Unconditionally.
think that's something we can take from God and Jesus Christ, is that
Yeah.
they love us
Just love them.
unconditionally. They
Mm-hmm.
may not always be thrilled of the
Not the way we would
decision
plan
that
it.
we make, but that they
For
love
sure.
us unconditionally.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
really something.
You're a good
Mm-hmm.
example
But
of that.
thanks. You know, it's, I don't know why we are so blessed, but I really think it still comes down to the we word. You know, to be a pair, not selfish. You know, I've never ever thought of putting me first, but he puts me first all the time.
Well,
You know,
I can
so
tell
I've
you
never
put him
ever.
first too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very
and
evident.
so no second places for any of us.
No. And I think you bring
And
up
that,
a good point. If you both put each other first, not yourself, but your spouse, the other one, it just
yeah,
comes natural.
it
Mm-hmm.
does. And the more you do it, the easier it is. I've never had a struggle with it. You know, there's a couple times when he's corrected me, and it only ever happened in a car where I couldn't get away. And it was, you know, there's that initial reaction is, hey, I'm a grown up. You know, I don't have to hear this. And, you know, I'm so thankful to bite my tongue and just think about what he said. And he's always spot on. And, you know, he's always just total spot on. And it's hard to correct a spouse without having hurt feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never meant meanly. You know, it's just, it's a good thing. I'm glad he has the guts to correct me when I know I'm wrong.
Well,
And
and
once I think about it,
I know
I
Stan would be saying the exact same things about you.
Yeah.
Because I know Stan, and he's a great guy, and you're
he
a
is
great
great
woman.
guy.
And what you just said just shows how much respect you have for each other.
Oh, I do.
And mutual respect is so important. Shelley
It
brings up
is,
a good
isn't it?
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, any friends that I've had that have had struggles with their marriage, you know, they come back to saying, well, my husband doesn't do this or that. And I just ask, does he know what you want? Well, we've been married for 15 years. He should know what I want. No way. They're not mind readers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if
There's
we
a
go and
term
get
people
thinking they're
say,
mind
use
readers.
your words. You need to use
I
your
know.
words.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, use your words. Yeah, and that's huge. Well, you guys are an amazing example of marital happiness. And you know what? It's all good, isn't it? Day's end.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that it's, for some people, it's probably a little bit, I hate to say this, but I think it's a little easier for some people to work well together than for others.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
I would
matter
agree.
who you are, you do have to work at it. You've got
You
to.
married them for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think commonality is probably the chief factor for a good marriage, is to want to be together, do things together.
We agree. Yeah.
If you like to hike, you know. And I just like riding a Harley Davidson.
Yeah, you guys go. Tell us, you guys have been all over the United States, or maybe you've been to every state on your Harley. I don't know how many places
every place
you've been.
but we've been to all of them except Hawaii, even Alaska, most of Canada.
Oh, you're going to have to go to Hawaii one of these times.
With your motorcycle?
Yeah, we sold it after Stan's accident. He'll never drive again. But we bought a Jeep, so we're going to go off-roading.
Hey, there you go. Fun.
See, so having the interest to keep doing the same wonderful things together, you know, I'm glad that we have a future to look forward to rather than saying game over.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be sad. That would be sad to just, because you got hurt, thinking this is it. No, it's not.
Well, I know even if you're both in an easy boy chair or easy girl chair, you would find some commonalities, things that you could do together, maybe read or whatever it might be.
We would.
You would find some things that bring you joy together.
It's really
true.
Spending time together, huh?
going for a walk, holding hands. Married 42 years, and he still holds my hand. He still kisses me good morning and good night. And, it doesn't matter. He still puts toothpaste on my toothbrush because he goes first.
I better step up.
I mean, it sounds silly, but when he's out of town and doesn't do those little things, it's just, this is the guy who takes my lipstick and writes 1, 2, 3 on our mirror, which is code for I love you.
Oh,
I mean, it's easy. Yes. But you know what? It means the world to me. And let me tell you one cool thing he did. And this is big. About 10 years ago, he made me a desk because with my job, I study all the time. So he made me a beautiful desk. It wasn't a secret he was making it, but he was making it for Christmas. And he wrote a letter with it and had it in the house on Christmas morning. And on it, he said, for every moment he worked on the desk, he thought of how much he loved me.
Oh.
So every time I sit at this desk, I think of, with every sanding, every stroke of the brush, whatever he did, he thought of me when he was doing it.
Oh.
He's a romantic. Boy, you know what? I'm going to cut you off because Shelley's going to expect so much from me now.
Paul, you're great. You are perfect for me, just like Stan is perfect for her.
And she says something right. I mean, everybody's perfect for each other.
Yeah. And you know what? You'll find what brings her joy in a big way. And it doesn't have to be a homemade desk. It could be a candy bar on the counter, your favorite one. It's the little teeny things that just add up to say, I'm thinking about you and I love you.
Yeah.
Whether you've been married a year or 50.
It really is. Those little things, do them every day. Or find something
every day.
Find something to do for your spouse.
Another cheesy thing. He leaves me a little post-it note. Yeah. He leaves me a little post-it note love note every morning.
Oh.
That sounds cheesy. But
Stan,
I
hate you. I hate you, Stan.
When I say I married well, I really
you did.
Jackpot.
Cute.
Get it gold.
Well, he married well too.
Well, we know, Pat, you are as amazing as he is, because I know you're sweet, and the things that you're saying just reaffirm what a good woman you are, and how kind and sweet you are. I know because I've been in your home many times. I know you guys well. Our son and Pat's son are good friends, and
they were best friends.
Spent a lot of time together. So. And
Austin still refers to me as the other mom.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He does.
After all these years, and I always call him the other son. You guys are great. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. And you know what? If one person could really use their heart to think about what they're hearing, they'll realize that nothing is worth giving up on more than marriage. Nothing should never be given up on.
And they may not feel like their marriage is this level right now. And they may think, oh, I would never be able to get to that level.
Never say never.
But you know what? If you have a friend that buys you dinner, what do you want to do? You want to buy them dinner or do something nice. And it's the same thing in marriage. You do something nice, they're going to want to do something nice back.
You don't have to buy something, but yeah.
Yeah, nice kind act of service. And you know what? If you have to do it 5 times before they get the hint, send them a note.
Exactly.
Send them a note. You know what would make me really happy? A chocolate candy bar. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Don't rag on them. Yeah.
Don't rag on them. Yeah. And that's a real good key too, is because, there's a million drains, especially on dads who are working hard to take care of a family. Moms are working hard too, but, I just think it needs to be a partnership 150%.
Yeah.
And you got to be in it for the long game, because there's going to be some ugly stuff happen, like 8 major moves and 2 deaths. And in-laws, my parents, you're going to deal with a lot of the things that you don't anticipate being part of the equation. So you got to be fortified enough when the fiery darts ain't go your way. You're going to be ducking around together with holding hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Paul's mom always, I remember her saying that she said that, and she's passed away almost 11 years ago, but she said, Daddy and I our marriage is for eternity. So there's nothing that can
Aw.
come between us. Our marriage is for eternity.
And that's beautiful. And you know what? If you let things come between you, they'll take over.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I will.
talk. I think communication is the biggest key to success in a marriage because none of us are mind readers.
Yep.
So talk, communicate.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing, huh?
Yep.
Sure is.
Well, you've been fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks
You're
for taking
You
some
bet.
time out of your day to share your wonderful how to make it 41
Two
and 8
in 5/8.
nights
11,
or
12.
5/8 years.
November 22nd.
That's right. November 22nd. You can do it.
Yeah,
You can make
do
it.
And
Yeah.
my mom and dad, oddly enough, they weren't the greatest parents to me after I converted to the church, but they were completely loyal to each other. Their marriage was 50 years strong before they passed away.
Mm.
And they set a great example of loving your spouse. And so, it can be done, but I would say not at the exclusion of your children,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and that's important. Well, thank you,
Well,
guys.
thank you,
Thank you,
Pat.
Pat.
We appreciate it.
Tell
You
Stan.
bet.
Tell Stan that we
Oh.
hope he heals completely, and
We
we're
believe
so
in miracles.
sorry
so he's
about
on the-
that.
Yep, we
Yeah.
do too.
You know what?
Yep.
He's here. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I told him I'd take him with a blade or nub, whatever it is.
That's right.
I'll take him any way I can have him, and that's okay
Aw.
with me.
Well, that should do it for today's podcast. And that was, we really appreciate you, Pat, for being on with us today. I hope you know
Yeah,
how
we
much
really do.
we love and appreciate you and respect you and your husband and your family. You're a very, very inspirational family.
Great examples of staying strong and being loyal to each other and loving each other.
And what we should do to
Through
have
the good things and the
a
bad.
very great and successful marriage.
Right.
Truly how to be happy in your marriage.
Right. And
How to love
selfless.
being married.
How to love being married.
They know how to do it. So anyway, we hope you enjoyed our podcast today. If you wouldn't mind going out, if you're on Apple Podcasts, go out and subscribe and give us a review, hopefully a good review, a 5-star review, and just let us know what you think. And hopefully that's a good thing. It's just a way for our podcast to grow and for other people to learn about it.
And we just do this because we really love each other and we want other
We
people
do.
to have strong
We
marriages
want-
too.
We want everybody out there to have a good, successful, happy marriage. I believe it's possible. And that's what we're here for, one marriage at a time.
Right.
So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. And Cooper, you're going nuts. He's always going nuts.
He
He's
wants to be
wondering
on
what
the
we're
podcast,
doing
I
next.
think.
You want to be on the podcast? What do you think?
Little dog.
He's not going to say anything. It's going to go bark at the neighbor's dog here in a little bit. He loves doing that. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and we hope you all
Love
love
being
being married.